Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today in our reading in Job chapter 19, we see how being honest about how we're feeling and being real about the experience that we're going through does not necessarily negate faith. In other words, a person can be truly honest about how hard of a time they're having in a particular situation, and that is in no way a knock against their faith, and it in no way proves that they have no faith. Job in Job chapter 19, at the beginning of it, he says, "Know then that God has wronged me and has closed his net around me." And he makes similar statements to this. And, he's being very upfront. He's saying, I feel as though God has wronged me in this situation. I didn't do anything to deserve what has happened here. And yet the Lord has closed his net around me. Like, God has enclosed me with this suffering and this hardship and all these different things that I'm experiencing. Yet in the same chapter, he expresses great faith. He goes on to say in the latter part of the chapter, he says, "As for me," verse 25, "I know that my Redeemer lives, and that at last he will rise up over the dust of this world, even after my skin is destroyed. Yet from my flesh I shall behold God." He said, "I know that my Redeemer lives." And here he's using the word in the Hebrew that is used for the kinsman redeemer. And based on the context, he seems to be referring to God, that God was his Redeemer. He knows that his Redeemer lives. He knows in some way God is going to redeem the situation and restore him. He's holding on to the fact that God is present in the situation. And he's even looking to the future. And he says, even after my skin is destroyed, yet from my flesh I shall behold God. And so he had a future hope as well. And so in the midst of this situation where he's just really being honest about his feelings and really laying them out there, he's still expressing faith and still showing that, yes, I know that even though as hard as it looks, and even though it seems as though God is against me in this situation, I know that my Redeemer lives, and I know that my eyes will behold the Lord, even after my flesh is destroyed. And we get statements like this kind of sprinkled out within the book of Job, by Job. Just he's offering up these things, and then all of a sudden he'll just come out with some type of really profound statement of faith. And it really shows that Job still is holding on to his faith, even though he doesn't understand what God is doing. And so what this shows us is that it's okay to be honest about how we're feeling. It's okay to be honest and look at our situation in light of the true reality of what's going on. And that in no way is a knock against our faith. All it shows is that we have eyes to see what we're going through. We have a heart to feel what we're going through. But still, we can trust in a God who's present with us, that our Redeemer does live, and we can hold on to the hope that one day we will see him. One day, even if everything, even if the worst happens, one day we will behold him, and that we will see him in all of his glory. And that should pull us through these dark times that we might be going through and help us to, yes, see them in their true reality, but also see them in the light of faith, and to hold on to that faith and let that faith carry us through. So there's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do a reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.